Welcome to Amateur Redneck Workshop. I'm Harold, the resident redneck, and today we're going to get a nice big plastic box to put our power supply in, and we're going to get rid of the little wall wart that runs the LED lights and the little wall wart that runs the Arduino, and we're going to get rid of the power supply that runs the wiper motor that lifts and lowers the little Grizzly head, and we're going to just use one big 48 volt power supply. And I've ordered a 12 volt power supply. It steps down from 48 to 12, and then I've got an adjustable voltage regulator. I have ordered a voltage regulator that steps 48 volts down to 12 volts. I've also ordered a an adjustable voltage regulator that'll further step the 12 volts down to Arduino voltage, like 9 or 8 or something down in there. And the 1 voltage, though, the adjustable one, has not arrived yet, so I'm going to go ahead and put this stuff together without it, and we'll put it all in the box. We'll wire it up, we'll put the thing in service, and when the last power regulator, voltage regulator arrives, I'll go back and we'll just pretend it was there all along. I'll hook it up and wire it in, and then everything will be really lovely forever. Okay? This is a much better setup than having little wall warts and power supplies all over the place running everything. I'm running out of places to plug them in, and I'm going to have just one power strip in, a little wire terminal inside the big plastic box to run my stuff off of. If I want 12 volts, I'll hook into here. If I want 48 volts, I'll hook into there. If I want a lower voltage, hook in up here. It'll be a lot nicer. So anyway, instead of talking about it, let's just get on with it and finish this thing up and see it work. Well, I started editing the video and I discovered that you guys didn't see me drill the hole. So I'll have to do that over again. And rather than hook all the wires back up right now, I'll show you at the end of the whole thing, a hole being drilled or whatever. But so far, these little connectors to power up the Arduino have arrived. I'm going to cut the 9 volt battery end off of it and wire it straight into the power regulator. It'll send hopefully 9 volts or less over there. And I got this nice box. Got it off Amazon, actually, at a better price than I could have got it locally. And we're going to put the power supply and the power regulators, the voltage regulators, in here. And I think it'll work out really nice. That's what I think. So that's what I'm going to be doing out here today, is fitting the power supply in there and what stuff that I've actually got. And I'm going to need to drill some holes down here in the bottom and some holes, we'll say, over here in the side to let it myself have a little airflow there to keep the power supply and the voltage regulators cool. They won't be on a lot of the time, probably not very often at all, but when they're on, they'll need some cool. So that's today's little job, and I may bring you back off and on to see the progress, but I'm not going to drill holes and all that on camera. Alright, so I set it up on the drill press and I drilled the holes. Right at first I tried really hard to keep them perfectly straight, and then as my mistakes accumulated, I backed off and just started drilling holes, But from a distance they look fairly neat. And they will let air come through the thing, let it in the bottom and out the top, and everything will be lovely. Alright, so now we've got a fan blowing into the box, and I can feel a nice little breeze in there. So when it's closed, it shouldn't get too hot around those power supplies and voltage regulators. Got a 48 to 12 volt voltage regulator right there. I've got another one coming. It'll get it down to Arduino level of power. So inside the box, there's a, I hope you can see, ease it up. Inside the box I got a power strip. The first connections here, the first half over 12 volt, the next half will be 9 or 8 or something like that, maybe even 6 volt, depending on how well I can adjust the next regulator when it arrives. And I've used double-sided tape to stick everything together except for this guy. He's screwed onto the wood, and I think it's all going to work out really well. Now I've got to get over there and mount the box on the arm over there where the little hoist is at, because he's going to provide power for the lift for the mill head, the last project we did there. Okay, so I've drilled out some light duty rectangular tubing to have a hole to mount on the top of the box there. This will be what I used to mount it against the little column over there, and I think that should solve all the problems I can come up with. At least I hope it will. We'll find out here shortly. Okay, so I've got the box mounted. I've got all the, sorry about that, I can't move without kicking the tripod. Got the box mounted. There's the power supply and one voltage regulator. The other voltage regulator has not come yet. I think it's in the other side of Houston, waiting for the 5 days that it's supposed to take to get to me. But anyway, I've got this guy hooked up. Everything is powered. Oh, darn it. You got a wire in the way, and no doubt, or something. Alright. Anyhow, I guess I would have bought a more expensive box. It would have closed better. But I've got the wiper motor that lifts the heads running off of that power supply. The LEDs running off that power supply, because I've got it stepped down to 12 volts from 48. And I'll step it down a little further to run the Arduino soon. And when I say soon, I mean whenever the stupid power supply comes in. Now I've got this guy centered sort of an eyeball, so I imagine it'll cut on one side or the other when I start it up. But people said, I want to see this thing bore. Well, we're going to make it bore this piece of tubing here and see how it comes out. I'm not sure whether I've got it too fast, too slow, or too anything, but we're going to crank it up and see what it does. Let me see if I can get you guys in a better spot. Alright, I think that's about as good a view as you're going to get. So let's crank this thing up and let it start boring this piece of scrap metal. Maybe. I'm going to try to go into it slow. It's making a heavier cut on the back side there than on the front side. And off probably, I guess maybe 10 thousandths or so. But it is cutting all the way around, believe it or not. So there we go. From half other than the top half. Alright, just raise it back up. I'm going to try to make it come up as fast as I can. Coming up pretty good. Alright, I'll set it for another cut and then I'll wake you guys up. Okay, so I moved it, what, 5 thousandths, so that should, I guess, increase the diameter by 10. We'll find out. That's removing 5 thousandths of material. I can tell by simply the fact that it's not removing much of anything. But it is cleaning up all the way around. So I didn't miss the center very much. If this were a real job on a real machine piece that I was trying to machine, I would have done better. I'd used the coaxial indicator and got it spot on. There you are. This is actually the first time that I've ever used this boring head. So there's another first for my channel. And for me, I've done cylinder boring. I used to bore motorcycle cylinders all the time, but I had a dedicated cylinder boring machine, in fact 2 of them. I gave one of them away because I took it apart to overhaul it and knew I was never going to put it back together, but I still got one. So, this is the big one, and if I had to bore a Harley or something, that's what it would do, but I doubt I'm going to be boring a Harley. Alright folks, this looks like a good time to call an end and go see if Bubba's hanging around, or Oli, or Thibodeau, or somebody. Bubba and Cooter had heard that ice fishing was really great up in Canada, and they had never been anywhere but your hometown anyway, and so they packed up and went to Canada, you know, and they decided that they really wanted to get into that ice fishing, so they stopped at a little bait shop there, and they bought some tackle, and one of them says, we're going to need an ice pick. So they got that and they took off. And they found the lake was froze up real nice and all. About 2 hours, Bubba was back at the shop and said, we're going to need another dozen ice picks. Now, the guy in the shop, he kind of wanted to ask some questions, but he didn't. He sold Bubba the ice picks, and Bubba left. And an hour he was back in and says, we're going to need all the ice picks you've got. The bait guy, he couldn't stand it any longer. He says, well, by the way, he says, how are you fellas doing? Bubba says, not very well at all. We ain't even got the boat in the water yet. Well, that's all, folks. Y'all try to subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Leave a comment if you got something to say. And above all, remember, keep on keeping on. Bye now.